Imagine you open your eyes, there is red dirt beneath you, a pale butterscotch sky above you, silence so complete it feels like the universe itself has stopped breathing. You are 140 million miles from the nearest human being, your oxygen alarm is going off, and nobody's coming. This is not a nightmare, this is Mars, and it is the loneliest place a human being could ever die. From a distance, Mars looks almost romantic. Rust-colored and ancient, it glows in the night sky like an ember that never goes out. Poets wrote about it, pharaohs worshipped it, children look up at it and dream. For thousands of years, we looked at that pale red dot and thought, maybe there's something there, maybe we could go, and now we're actually planning to. NASA has Mars on the schedule. SpaceX has a timeline. Governments are drawing up treaties for a planet none of us have touched. We talk about it the way people talked about the moon in 1960, with this electric, trembling optimism, like it's the next chapter of humanity, like it's a second chance. But here's the problem. Mars doesn't want you there. Mars has never wanted anything alive there. And the moment you step off that lander and plant your boots in that ancient red soil, the planet will begin, immediately, quietly, without hesitation, trying to kill you. Not in one way, in every way, all at once, simultaneously, like it's been waiting. Take a breath right now. Feel that? That invisible, effortless thing your lungs just did? You'll never do that on Mars. The Martian atmosphere is 95% carbon dioxide. If you were somehow exposed to it without a suit, not a slow process, not a gradual fade, your body would begin to shut down in under 2 minutes. But that's almost the generous version of the problem, because the atmosphere on Mars is also so thin, so impossibly sparse, that the pressure outside your suit is less than 1% of what you feel on Earth right now. Your blood would begin to boil, not from heat, from the absence of pressure. The dissolved gases in your bloodstream would turn to bubbles. It's called ebulism. It sounds clinical. It is not a clinical experience. You would feel it happen, and you'd be conscious for most of it. But it gets worse. Mars is cold in a way that English barely has words for. The average temperature on the surface sits around negative 60 degrees Celsius. That's not a winter morning. That's not even Antarctica. That is a cold so profound it would freeze your exposed skin in seconds, crack metal over time, and drain the life from any battery-powered system keeping you alive. At the poles, temperatures drop past negative 125 degrees Celsius. For reference, the coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth was negative 89. Mars wakes up colder than that, every single morning. Your suit, your thin, engineered, human-made barrier between you and that cold, is the only reason you exist on this planet at all. It is your atmosphere. It is your sky. It is your entire world, compressed into a few layers of fabric and polymer and prayer, and if it fails even slightly, even in one small place, the cold doesn't knock on the door. It walks straight through, and this is where things change. You might survive the cold, you might keep your suit intact, you might breathe recycled air and drink recycled water and eat food grown under artificial light, you might be doing everything right, and then the dust comes. Martian dust is not like Earth dust. It is not the gentle, forgiving powder you wipe off a bookshelf. It is electrostatically charged, micron-sized, sharp-edged, and it coats everything. It coated the solar panels of the Opportunity rover until it starved the machine of power. Opportunity was supposed to last 90 days. It lasted 15 years, until a dust storm so massive it blanketed an area the size of North America descended on the planet. And then silence. NASA sent one final command to the rover, a message containing a song. "I'll be seeing you." The Ogia rover never responded. It was buried in the dark and the dust, alone on a planet that had finally won. Now imagine that storm is coming for you. These global dust storms can last for months. They reduce visibility to near zero. They don't just block sunlight, they eliminate it. Any solar-powered system on your base goes dark. Your backup heating fights to keep pace with the cold. Your food production stutters. And you are inside, watching a red-brown wall swallow the horizon, knowing that even when it ends, the dust has already gotten into places it shouldn't be. But that's not even the worst part. Earth has a magnetic field. You've never had to think about this. You've never had to be grateful for it. But right now, invisibly, quietly, it is deflecting a constant stream of solar radiation, cosmic rays, and charged particles that would otherwise tear through your DNA like a bullet through paper. Mars has no magnetic field. Not anymore. It lost it billions of years ago, and with it, Went most of the atmosphere, and with that went any hope of natural protection from space itself. On the surface of Mars, radiation exposure is approximately 17 times higher than the accepted limit for nuclear power plant workers on Earth. During a solar flare, an event we can predict only hours in advance, that number spikes to potentially lethal doses in a matter of minutes. Astronauts on the International Space Station are still protected by Earth's magnetic bubble. On Mars, there is no bubble. There's nothing between you and the full, unfiltered rage of the sun. The Mars Science Laboratory, on the Curiosity rover, measured radiation levels during its journey through space and on the surface. Scientists calculated that a round-trip mission to Mars would expose an astronaut to roughly the equivalent of getting a full-body CT scan every 5 to 6 days for the entire mission. That radiation doesn't leave the body. It accumulates. It rewrites cells. It plants seeds that grow into cancer years later, long after you've come home, if you come home. But here's the problem. You might not. Everything we've talked about can be engineered around. The cold, insulation, the dust, sealed systems, the radiation, shielded habitats. Brilliant people are working on all of it right now. There's a solution being designed for every danger on this list, except one: the distance. At its closest, Mars is 54 million miles from Earth. At its farthest, it's 250 million. A radio signal, traveling at the speed of light, takes between 3 and 22 minutes to reach you, and then another 3 to 22 minutes for the response to come back. You cannot call for help, not in any real sense. Mission Control cannot guide you through an emergency in real time. If something goes wrong, a suit failure, a medical crisis, a fire in the habitat, every decision lives and dies with you, in the room, in that moment. The Apollo astronauts were 3 days from home. 3 days. And even they described looking back at Earth and feeling a terror beneath the wonder, this sudden, visceral understanding of how completely alone you are. Mars is not 3 days away. With current technology, a rescue mission, if launched immediately after an emergency, would take 7 months to arrive. 7 months, by which point whatever went wrong will have long since finished going wrong. You will have been dead for 6 months and 29 days, and the universe will not have noticed. There's something we don't talk about when we talk about going to Mars. We show the renders, the gleaming habitats, the suited figures standing on rust-colored ridges, the Earth rising blue and perfect over a red horizon. We talk about the species becoming multi-planetary. We talk about survival, about legacy, about what we owe the future. But nobody talks about what it would feel like to die there. Not the physical part, the other part, the part where you are lying in the dirt of an alien world, and the last thing you see is a sky the color of a wound. And you know with your entire body that no one is coming, that the people who love you are a distance away that the human mind was never designed to comprehend, that your voice, even if it could travel, would arrive as a ghost, minutes after your mouth stopped moving. Mars is beautiful, Mars is extraordinary, and we are going there because that is what human beings do. We walk into the dark. We've always walked into the dark. But the dark on? Mars is a different kind of dark. It is 140 million miles of silence and 4 billion years of cold, and a universe that built this place long before life existed and will maintain it long after the last human thought has flickered out. The universe was never ours. We are just the first creatures strange enough to go looking for proof, and Mars has been waiting, quiet and red and patient, to remind us of that. Alone, the way everything, eventually, becomes alone.